What's up, chooms? Do you want to go to the moon with us? Well, if you do, you better stay still and listen to the pod because it's gonna be preem. Get that chrome, baby. What's up? I'm Grog Games. I'm here with my boy PatriotJax.
I love that. That was freaking Nova, dude.
That was Nova, baby. Hey, I'm Grog Games. I'm here with my boy PatriotJax. Jax, what's up?
How are we doing, guys?
Hey,
we doing now cream? I think that means good, right?
Cream is like, what is it, like digitally good? It's like, it's awesome, but it's specifically just for software or something. I looked it up. Anyway.
I do like Nova.
Nova's
like
pretty good.
Awesome, good, lit. You know, I do like Nova. I don't know. That one I like.
We gotta start doing more Fortnite games and going into voice chat with kids and just say Nova continually, just to bring it back. Guys, I hope you like our new intros, because this will be continuing for the rest of the pod. So I hope you're excited.
We're Edgerunner fanboys now, aren't
we? This is not an Edgerunners podcast. But before that, let's do a quick chat. Jax and I, of course, talked a little beforehand, but we gotta do the formality of the pod. Jax, how are you? Tell me what's been going on this last 2 weeks.
I don't know, man. Work, but mostly it's still getting used to having a baby in the house.
Yeah,
experiencing this child existing. That's pretty Nova. If I have to say anything, it's pretty Nova. This little baby of mine. But no, I'm good. I'm really good. There's only one thing I sort of really want to discuss in the intro.
Yeah.
It's also anime related, of course.
Of course.
I just love talking about anime because I have no one in real life that watches it, despite trying to get my wife to watch Attack on Titan, and she couldn't do it. Like, we got through like a couple of episodes and it's just not a thing. Anyway.
Wait, hold on. Your wife couldn't get through Attack on Titan? You tried to show it to her?
We watched a couple of episodes and it's just like...
Why didn't she like it?
It's just not a thing. Like, action stuff in general is just not her thing.
Oh, is she like a comedy person?
Yeah, she likes like soaps, and she loves like
reality television.
Crime? No, not really. No, like crime stuff.
Okay.
So like that Jeffrey Dahmer thing on Netflix, she's all over that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know, have you been watching Classroom of the Elite? The finale hit season 2.
I actually haven't. Believe it or not. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been preoccupied because I think I discussed it prior, so I won't go on a rant about it. But my wife wanted to watch it with me.
Again.
Yeah, my wife was like, "I want to watch the anime show with the pretty eyes," and I was like, "Okay, yeah, it gets weird. I just want to warn you, it gets dark at some points." And she's like, "That's fine." So I haven't watched it since. Yeah, I was waiting for her, and of course she always falls asleep, so haven't gotten the chance to watch more of it or at all. Yeah, I only got like 3 episodes into season 2, and then I was just
oh my god.
I know.
It's really good. Okay, that means I can't talk about it. Damn it. You go.
People are gonna start thinking this is an anime podcast because I also had anime to bring up. But I've been watching rewatching Fairy Tail. Yeah, have you seen Fairy Tail? You don't know what Fairy Tail is?
No, I've heard of it. Yeah, no, I've definitely heard of it. What's it about? Is it isekai?
No, it's not an isekai. Essentially, it's just a team of adventurers / guild members, and they just do cool anime stuff, and they fight other guilds and stuff. It's cool, and they have an awesome theme song. It's like bagpipes, like Irish thing. It's good. It's very good. But
I'm trying to find many that aren't like at least decent anime intros. There's very few. Like, everything just slaps.
Yeah,
that's what's so good about it.
Yeah. In another note, though, My Hero came back yesterday, right?
Yeah, that and Spy X Family. I've not watched either of them yet. Yeah, both of them. Like, October's like jam packed because everyone's
eating good.
Going about Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, Chainsaw
everyone's going
Man.
off about that. And Bleach, which is not on Crunchyroll. It's going to Disney Plus apparently.
I was gonna bring that up. People keep saying it's in Disney Plus. That literally makes no sense. I was literally an hour ago talking to my friend about this, and I was like, some guy who's a Bleach fan. One guy that works at Disney is a Bleach fan, and he somehow convinced all the board members to spend like millions of dollars just to get Bleach on Crunchyroll. I mean, not on Disney Plus. And it makes no sense. Why? How and why? There's no anime on Disney Plus right now.
Well, this is what I was going to say. You got to remember, like, the fact that they're getting into it, I think's quite a big thing. Like, for Disney to have an anime, I think that's quite a big step. Yeah. Whether it means that they'll end up taking other things, positively or negatively. You know, I watch my anime on some random sites.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm not one to talk.
I used to do that, and I was like, yeah, I'm not getting viruses on my computer, so I'll buy Crunchyroll. But yeah, none of my friends have Disney Plus. I think I'm the only person that has Disney Plus that I know of. So, I mean, I'll be eating fine in regards to watching Bleach, but I guess no one else will. I'll let you guys know how it goes. But I'm very excited for it. Apart from that, what else? I don't think anything else is going on in my life, Jax.
How's your lawn, by the way? Just lawn up. Yeah, your lawn update. You know, how's that going? Have you cut it?
No.
The people have to know.
Yeah, guys, my lawn is very long. It's now fall, so at this point in time, I'm probably not going to cut it again. I'm the house that has the long yard, and lots of plants, and people walk by and they're like, that person doesn't do any gardening, do they? And they would be right. Yeah, I don't do gardening because I'm here doing the pod. I'm here with you. I'm here with Jax.
Watching Bleach on Disney Plus, you know.
Yeah, I don't have time for it. I don't. Yeah, I talk about... How many times have I talked about the lawn on the podcast? It's like we're at 3 or 4
It was just
now.
the once, but I just thought
was
it was... yeah, I just thought it'd be funny just to bring it up. Anyway,
it is funny.
You know, we got a lot to get through, and not a lot of time, but, you know, we've got to talk about Cyberpunk. Just, you know, Cyberpunk 2077, but Cyberpunk in general, because of the freaking unbelievably good Cyberpunk Edgerunners anime that dropped on Netflix a few weeks ago. That was so good.
I'm so sad.
Literally, like, my TikTok, I've just been posting out like Edgerunner memes.
I was
stuff.
Gonna mention, you literally have been like on TikTok. Also, didn't you upload like several video shorts on YouTube that were just like Cyberpunk related?
Yeah. I try and obviously do both, but like, yeah, because I've been playing it, and I just so happened, and obviously I'll come on to it, but I just so happened to get to the mission with Adam Smasher.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, this is perfect. Now I can destroy you. So it just worked perfectly. I was like, oh, this is for Rebecca.
And you took out all of your emotions on him.
I mean, obviously, you know, I died a few times. You know, one of those TikTok shows that, but no, it was very funny. I gotta say, the games had like a ridiculous sort of renaissance, like a resurgence since the anime came out. But I think we got to go back and just talk about
how it was
when it first came out.
Jax, did you know that Cyberpunk started in 1988 as a board game?
I think I vaguely remember them. Yeah, vaguely. Like that sort of unlocked memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, achievement.
I watched an hour-long lore video about the origins of Cyberpunk as a franchise. Maybe franchise is the right word. It originally started as a board game in 1988. Essentially sort of like D&D, but with its own mechanics. And it was called Cyberpunk 2013.
Now that is funny.
2013. And of course they changed it later because, in 2013 we weren't exactly having mechanical arms and stuff yet. At least not the majority of us. But, yeah, I had no idea about that. I think...
presumably CD Projekt Red bought the rights to it and obviously made a game based on the lore.
Yeah, I don't know all of this story, so if anyone feels free to correct me, I mean, you can. But the creator essentially, made the board game up, and then I guess he was really cool because he basically said that people had free reign to make it within the same universe, as long as it conformed to his original guidelines for the board game. So he's, seen the anime. He's seen the Edgerunners, and he thought it was really cool. and he's of course, Cyberpunk the game. I'm sure he was consulted on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's totally fine with other people branching off and using his world as a like a base platform for what Cyberpunk is in general. So it's super cool that it just originally was D&D essentially. But
I mean, that's really cool, and it's no surprise that it was in like the 80s, because you had like sci-fi in itself was so big then.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like films and stuff like that. With it's gonna elude me the name of the film.
Hold on, let me see if I can guess. The Fifth Element.
Oh no, but that film was phenomenal. I love The Fifth Element. I think that was in the 90s. I'm talking about the Harrison Ford. Is it like Blade?
Oh, yeah, Blade Runner.
Blade. It was Blade Runner. Yeah, okay.
I was about to say Dune.
And there was that one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I can't remember the name of that film either.
Terminator.
No, not Terminator. It was a sci-fi.
Terminator is a sci-fi.
No, okay, I guess. But it was very like the aesthetic was sort of in that sort of realm of cyberpunk, if you like, or like that sort of.
Was it Judge Dredd? No, that's something else.
No, it was Judge Dredd. It might be Total Recall, actually.
Okay.
And it was a 1990 film as well. To be fair, it was Total Recall.
What?
Got there in the end, even though it was a night.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was that sort of like a lot of like sci-fi during that time and what the world might look like.
Yeah.
I guess in 2013 and stuff like that. But anyway, going back to Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes.
Now the original, if I remember rightly, I think the teaser trailer dropped. It was sometime in like 2014, 2015, something like it. The trailer dropped so early.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know
so
that.
This is what I mean, because it was the most like, I don't know a game that has had more hype for it than Cyberpunk. See, and this is part of the problem. So the teaser dropped, and I remember you see like the girl with the mantis blades and stuff like that. You saw very few things, but like the world is insane. That's one of the best things about it, is the world itself is like so unique and cool and stuff. And when obviously the game, when it released in 2020, it released so badly. it just like they were getting refunds. It was like selling for like £5, like £10 in some places, because it was just people were returning it so fast.
Copies, really?
Well, at least the digital downloads, I'm guessing. But like so many people, obviously everyone was so upset because it released with so many bugs, like optimization glitches and crashes. There's still some stuff to this day, but they've obviously been updating it so much. But when it was due to drop, like it was so hyped up, and it's unfortunate that they didn't sort out the optimization issues, because I think it was only like next gen consoles where it ran like reasonably well.
Yeah,
I got it on a PS4 and I couldn't play it. Like I tried, I just couldn't. Like I got stuck like in like a story mission. Like I couldn't get out of a room because a guy in a cutscene had blocked me, and that shouldn't have happened yet. Or so, like there were so many things that it was just like, and I'm the sort of person that can get past like visual anomalies.
Yeah.
So like rendering time, but I still have that issue on the PS4 with when you run somewhere and you run quick, for example, like to get to a shop or something, and you want to go in the door hasn't rendered, so it doesn't let you in. So you run over to it, you're standing there, and you're waiting like 5-7 seconds for it to render before you can go in. I can forgive that, even though that's annoying and it shouldn't happen. But it's like bugs that make the game just impossible to play, like the story mode, and obviously the crashes when you get into a battle, like you get into a gunfight, and there's too much going on the screen for it to handle, and it just crashes. Like it is, without a doubt, for me anyway, because I never played Fallout 76, and I'm sure there's a few other games people can mention, the worst game to launch. Like
I honestly
ever.
can't think of another one that was worse than that. I really can't. Yeah, apart from what you just said, Fallout 76.
That was particularly bad. But I loved Fallout 4, but I never I was never going to get 76, I don't think. But yeah, that was pretty bad as well.
Yeah. I had actually no. I didn't even have. I was gonna say I had a similar experience, but I didn't. I also bought Cyberpunk at launch, like right away, which is rare for me because I'm a cheap man. I buy things on sale constantly. I never buy a game when it first comes out. Because that's
dude. If you waited like a month, you could have got it for like £5 on eBay or something.
That's the worst part, dude. Gotta wishlist that on Steam. No.
See, I waited a couple of months before I got mine.
Yeah,
and I was
you were
like,
smart.
I'm sure. Well, I'm sure it will improve. It didn't. Like even their first big updates, it didn't make it much better at all. Like their earlier updates created more issues. It was just. It was unreal how bad the optimization was.
You want to know why I did that, though, Jax? You know why I did it? Is because originally, when Skyrim came out, I didn't play it right away. And there was such a wave of people being like, this is the greatest thing that has ever happened to us as a gaming community. And everyone was talking about it. And I had no idea what was going on because I wasn't playing Skyrim. It was like everyone was on this roller coaster and I was on the ground below looking up. And it was the worst thing to ever happen to me. So I said, this is going to be the next Skyrim. And in regards to like a good game that everyone's playing at the same time. And I'm like, I'm a grown man now. I got some money. I'll spend a little bit of money so I can be on that roller coaster with everyone.
Love that.
And it just didn't pan out this time for us, guys. I got I think I have 15 hours in Cyberpunk. I really didn't get that far. And there wasn't a specific reason why I stopped playing either. I think it was just that I had heard that there was glitches. I only had one glitch happen to me because I was playing on PC. Yeah. Oh, you want to hear my glitch quick? So it wasn't even like anything bad. I just laughed out loud. But I was trying to climb through a window. Like, I broke a window, and I was trying to climb through, and all of a sudden it pushed me back 200 feet. Like, my character flew 200 feet backwards. And I was like, well, that was pretty weird. And then I went through the window, and everything was fine. But, yeah, otherwise, nothing really happened to me. I think maybe there's, like, a floating object once or something. But I just stopped playing because,
damn, lucky you, dude.
Bro, PC Master Race, baby. What are you doing?
I should have got it on PC. But, like, I was worried that my PC wouldn't run it, to be fair.
Oh, me too, yeah.
Well, maybe it would have run better on PC, to be fair. But, I think you freaking lucked out, dude.
Oh, I did.
How did you manage that?
Talent, innate talent, and luck. my luck modifier is pretty high. Yeah. So, I honestly, from watching Edgerunners, I have been so hyped about this world of Cyberpunk. Okay, Jax, you said you just watched this again, right? Edgerunners?
What's that? Oh, yeah, I've watched it twice now.
Okay, so you just rewatched it, essentially.
I nearly cried the second time. Only nearly the second time.
Guys, if you're listening right now, and you have not seen Edgerunners, please pause the podcast.
Pod the pod.
Pause the podcast. Watch Edgerunners. It's 5 hours, okay? It's only 5 hours. They're 30-minute episodes. There's 10 of them, okay? Go watch it, and then come back to the pod, and then talk to me about Edgerunners.
I want to say most people that are going to click on this probably have watched it.
I sure hope so.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. If you haven't,
so
definitely, yeah. We honestly couldn't recommend it more. Like, it was so good. And do you know what's funny, right?
Yeah.
So talking about it, when I started watching it, I was like, oh, I'll give it a go. And I didn't think, obviously, like most people, I guess, because the funny thing about this is it so contrasts the game, because
right.
I don't know how many people knew this was even coming out. How many people knew there was a Cyberpunk anime dropping? Exactly. As far as I'm concerned, there wasn't many people that knew a Cyberpunk anime was dropping on Netflix. So there was no hype for it whatsoever. So everyone was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll check it out. And then obviously, all of the memes later, everyone's crying and looking at the moon and, But it completely contrasts the game, where the game had so much hype for so many years, and then when it dropped, and it was so bad when it dropped, everyone was so disappointed. It's sort of hilarious how the anime has managed to sort of bring people back to it, because its concurrent player base is now like over 1 million people compared to what it was before the anime. It's insane.
I'm very happy. I'm very proud of them, honestly, and it's a huge move. And before we get into the actual show itself, I just want everyone to know how crazy this is. We're getting to the point in time where there's going to be video game adaptations that are good. Like, what are the last few things we had? I mean, obviously, this was good. We had Arcane. Freaking Arcane.
Oh, that was amazing. I don't play League of Legends. I know nothing.
I know nothing about League of Legends.
So good.
So good.
Like,
I don't know. Maybe that'll be an episode. If we run out of ideas, we'll just do an Arcane episode.
I can rewatch that. Yeah.
But we had the Sonic movies, right? I don't want to talk about Mario, but that's coming up.
I was just gonna say, I was like, can we just, like, as I feel like the Sonic movies, I feel like they're an outlier in the film franchise adaptations. I think it's better to stick with the anime adaptations. The anime adaptations of like Western IPs and video game properties, like, they seem to be nailing it. You know, they're doing one season of a story. You know, people have talked like, oh, there could be there's not going to be a season 2. The whole reason, like, it's telling a soul story in that universe about that particular thing. They can do another Cyberpunk anime. Obviously, it's going to have nothing to do with.
It's going to be new characters.
Edgerunners.
Yeah.
It'll be completely different.
We don't need We don't need to see the characters again. The story was told. It served its purpose.
Exactly. You don't need that. You know, you can add some stuff into the into the game, which they have done. To be fair, they've added some Edgerunner stuff into the game, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I picked up David's jacket. Mention that. Oh, you did. You did. Okay, nice. Yeah. And you ordered his drink at the bar?
I was going to do that, and then I got stuck in a mission I didn't even realise I was meant to go on, and then Johnny, like, I took a pill, and then Johnny took over my body and did some crazy stuff. So I was going to do that.
Oh, Keanu, you fickle boy. All right, so I'm gonna throw out a couple of things here quick in regards to the anime itself. So Jax, I'm sure you know this. Edgerunners is a prequel to Cyberpunk. It's actually in 2076, the year before Cyberpunk 2077. Did you know that?
I didn't know it was the year before, but I knew it was pre 77. Yeah, the game.
Yes. CD Projekt Red is the company behind Cyberpunk. Studio Trigger is the anime company behind Edgerunners. They have directed Evangelion. Have you seen Evangelion?
Oh, okay. No, I haven't, but like everyone says it's like one of those classic ones that's like brilliant. And it's on Netflix, but I'm not a huge fan of like mecha.
I'm not either.
Like, so that's the only reason I haven't watched it, to be fair.
I like fantasy over sci-fi stuff, so I actually haven't seen it either, but
I really like ones where like the guy is completely like soulless and an emotional manipulator, and he just manipulates all his classmates to get him to do what he wants, even though no one knows his true goal or anything. Yeah, I like
the Breaking Bad of anime.
those anime. I like those. Yeah, the classroom of the elite anime.
The cerebral mind puzzles. Yeah. Have you heard of Gurren Lagann? The anime? No. Okay. All right. Watch Gurren Lagann.
Is it on Netflix? I'll watch it on Zorro.
Okay. Yes. Essentially, they have come out with animes that are hard hitting. They're classics. Everyone loves them. They were perfect to make Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I can't remember. I didn't write his name down, but I think the lead designer. He worked on, like I said, Evangelion, Gurren Lagann. So he made all the visuals for like how the chrome and all the cybernetics like fit together. Just ingenious. I have no idea how you could possibly like imagine like all the screws screwing in together and like how they transform into each other and like all the guns coming out of our arms. Like, I mean, it's simple to think about now, but like that guy came out from scratch. He had to imagine all of that, It's crazy to think of. I don't even know. Oh, and you're gonna love this. The guy who did the music for Edgerunners made the soundtrack for Silent Hill.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. That guy done a good job.
Yeah. Okay. Did you watch subbed or dubbed, Jax?
Oh yeah, I only watched the dub actually.
Okay.
I didn't watch the sub.
I also watched the dub.
Yeah.
And viewers, I would suggest dub if you haven't seen it by now. If you're listening to this and somehow you haven't seen Edgerunners. If you're still listening, hey, did you pause it and did you watch Edgerunners? Are you here now? Because I'm assuming you've watched Edgerunners.
Hit us up in the comments.
The dubbed is so good. Did you know the guy who plays Gus from Breaking Bad is Faraday?
Oh yeah. I got that very early on.
Okay.
Like as soon as he started speaking, I was like, oh no, here's another villain played by the guy from Breaking Bad who loves to play villains in like everything.
Yeah, I heard his voice. I'm like, no, that can't be him. That doesn't make any sense. And then
it is absolutely him. Yeah.
I heard him, and like the second line he did, I was like, oh my god! And I paused it. I'm like, holy, what the heck? Also, the driver guy Falco.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's played by Matt Mercer. Do you not know who Matt Mercer is?
Who's that?
You don't know who Matt Mercer? Yes.
Oh gosh. Is that like an anime sin?
No. Matt Mercer is the main guy behind Critical Role for D&D.
Matt Mercer.
Guys, he's
an American voice actor. He's been in Thundercat. Oh, no.
You had to have seen him somewhere. Guys, Jax doesn't know who Matt Mercer is. F in chat.
What? Okay, what's he been in? Right. Okay, movies and TV shows.
Shroom, what are you doing?
Critical. He did Monsters University. I've watched that, but I don't know who he was in there.
Okay.
He's Hunter x Hunter. Okay, great.
Great.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to lay the foundation for the behind the scenes, all the great people that worked on this. Let's start off with a softball question. Jax, I already know your answer, but who is your favorite character in Edgerunners?
It's pretty, it's easy. Yeah, if you look at my TikToks, most people would probably say it's Becca, but it's not. It's actually, I'm going to be, the boring, obvious guy and actually say that my favorite character is the main character, which is David.
Really?
But
okay, I thought you were going to say
I know that's boring because lots of people like to be different or they like to like the side character. Oh, in this case, the lolly. But yeah, I don't know. I really like David. Like, I liked his progression, and I didn't know what was going to happen at the end, but I knew that the story was themed around, like, it was themed around what Night City is and what Night City does to people.
Yeah.
And I thought they really nailed that with him.
Yeah, I actually also love David. He actually is my favorite character as well. And
oh, how boring.
No, but here's the thing. It's not boring because that's the whole point. Is you're supposed to empathize with this character to the extent that like you feel some sort of like sympathy or empathy for the main character. Yeah, I mean, essentially David is Night City. Right? If you think about it. He's a metaphor. His journey through the anime is a metaphor for the existence of Night City. Do you know the Greek tragedy of Icarus?
He flew too close to the sun.
He flew too close to the sun. Yes. That's
and
essentially
he put too
what
much
happened to David.
Cyberware on his body. The fabled story of Martinez, who put too much cyberware on his body.
Yeah, the fabled story of essentially not being able to escape destiny or not being able to escape the lot that you were cast. He tried and he got too close.
It's interesting you say that because, like, someone, I think it was on TikTok, was comparing Edgerunners to Breaking Bad.
What?
And how? Yeah, I know. Like, and I was literally like, "What are you on?" Because he was saying like how obviously Walter breaks bad, and then that's sort of what David is doing. But obviously,
No.
like, I completely disagree because Walter's the villain of Breaking Bad.
Yes.
In my eyes, it's, you know, as much as it, you know, Gus and all that, he's the villain. You don't want Walter White to succeed. You want to see him fail, and that's completely different from Edgerunners. Like David, you know, he lost people and he found a new family in the Edgerunners.
Yeah.
And I think obviously the large part of it was the fact that he didn't have his own dream. Like his dreams were through other people. So it originally was to go and work as a corpo in Arasaka because that's what his mum wanted him to do. And then after she died and he joined like the Edgerunners, he then wanted to be just like Maine, and Maine was all about like upping his chrome and making himself be like the best Edgerunner he could be. And obviously when Maine died, David knew he had to step up, and he essentially just became what Maine was. And then the only difference is that David thought he was special.
Yeah.
That was that whole thing about David thinking he was special, and in the end,
he literally at one point said, "I'm built different," which was one of the funniest lines.
That's a great
it
line.
Wasn't supposed to be, but how can you not laugh when someone literally says, "I'm built different"?
but I don't know necessarily like what you were saying. If David is sort of a
Metaphor,
a metaphor for Night City in itself, because I guess to an extent where it's like Night City has sort of all of the opportunities you have if you do what you need to do, I guess. And he did sort of reach that point. They were earning lots of eddies. They were doing loads of different jobs, and then they ended up obviously doing this Militech job and had no idea what was really going on behind it. But for me, Night City is sort of that place that will just spit you up and swallow you out, because there's that saying, and I don't know if it's an actual saying, but I saw it in the comment section of a video and it's really stuck with me. There are no living legends in Night City.
yeah,
And the reason there isn't is because they're all dead. And that's the thing, you know, Adam Smasher was pretty good for a while, and then obviously, you know, in the game, again, spoilers, V kills him. You kill him as the main character.
What? I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No, I actually didn't know that, but I don't care.
Okay, all right.
I figured that.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
you
come on.
watched the TikTok anyway. To be fair, you watched my TikTok.
Oh yeah, literally. Why would he not? Why would you not fight him at some point in Cyberpunk?
But yeah,
it's fine. Yeah.
The idea that there's no living legends, it always made me think that there wasn't going to be a happy ending in this. Like it felt like it was going that way. Like, especially towards the end after episode 6, when he freaking chromed up and was like freaking hench.
Yeah. Yeah.
Giga Chad.
Giga David.
Giga David. Yeah.
Okay. So last night, I was at a wedding, right? And I was talking to my friends all night about Cyberpunk and Edgerunners. One of my friends was arguing that Edgerunners was better than Arcane, and I was arguing that Arcane was better than Edgerunners. And I still think Arcane is better than Edgerunners. It's very close. And here's my reasoning for it, Jax. Arcane had an extra hour and 20 minutes to develop their characters. Edgerunners was too rushed, and I would have liked to have more backstory on some of the characters. For example, when they showed Maine going through cyberpsychosis, like when they flashed back to when he was like, before he had any chrome or anything whatsoever, he was just walking in the desert. We knew nothing about him. I mean, obviously we know the extent of his character and what happened to him over time. The Night City absorbed him, turned him into chrome, swallowed him up, and he died. But we didn't know anything behind him, like his motivation or anything like that, like his family, nothing like that whatsoever. So while I really enjoyed Edgerunners, like a lot, don't get me wrong, I feel like some of it was a little rushed, and that's no one's fault at all, because I know they had only so many episodes, they had so much time, you got to go through everything, but the pacing itself felt like it could have been a little slower. What do you think? Do you think it was enough character development, not enough.
I actually can't agree more.
Really?
I do think Arcane is definitely better. Like, don't get me wrong, it didn't make me emotional. Like, it didn't make me cry at the end, although it was a really good ending as well. Like, that's the thing with Edgerunners, is that it literally, like, there's enough time to be emotionally attached to the characters of, say, David, Lucy, pretty much just them two, I would guess.
Yeah.
So obviously at the end, it really makes you feel empty and it really hits you. Now, you're absolutely right. There was not that they could have done with a few more episodes, maybe to sort of flesh out the rest of the characters a bit more, which would have been nice. Maybe build on like Becca and her brother's relationship a bit more, right before sort of like, because he died as well. And then you've got Maine, who was to David was a really like big part of the show, and
almost like a father figure.
Yeah, and to see, there was definitely not enough of Maine.
Right.
There definitely, I agree, there absolutely should have been more. And Arcane, I think you're right, that there was enough character development from all the people to get the show to where it wants to. That's not saying that Cyberpunk Edgerunners is bad at all. It's amazing. I loved it. But if you're comparing the two, if you were having that debate, I would definitely say that Arcane is better than Edgerunners. There's not much in it. But they definitely could have done with maybe a couple more episodes, just like you say, flesh out. Particularly Maine, I think, more than anyone else.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. Like, it felt like a non-stop ride too. Like, I was expecting. I know, like, Cyberpunk is gritty, right? The whole like aesthetic of Cyberpunk is like, this is awful. Everything sucks. Everyone's gonna die, and like, so like. I understand why they made the show super violent, because they want to show they want to be transparent and be like, this is how Night City is. This is how this world is. We're not going to pull any punches on you, right? But I don't know. It felt like every single second something was happening and you like couldn't get off. There was like no breathing. The most breathing was between like, it was after Becca's brother died, in between when he was like talking to Maine and there was flashbacks about how he's like, hey, did you hit on Lucy yet? Like, that was the most breathing room we had the entire show, and it was 5 minutes maybe. Like, I was just like, bro, give me an OVA episode or something. Where's our beach episode? Like, what is happening?
Really?
I'm exaggerating, of course. I'm joking, but like, it was a non-stop roller coaster, and I didn't have time to register before they threw me into another emotional spiral.
I wouldn't necessarily say that's, in this particular regard, like, that can definitely happen. Like, pacing issues, if it just keeps going. Because it goes from, like, when you think about episode 5 to 6, and the bit of the time jump, sort of a small time jump, but a time jump nonetheless. Yeah. And it does just keep jumping from one thing to another. Yeah. I think that's what Night City is. Like, it never stops. Like, you never stop, and you keep going, and like David, you keep going until you die.
So stressful, dude. I couldn't live in Night City. I couldn't do it whatsoever, man. I don't want to be there at all.
No healthcare, dude. No healthcare.
Oh my god, the metaphors behind capitalism too are just ridiculous.
Oh my god, like, they literally, the bad guys are literally called corpos. Like, this is literally corporations. It's literally, it's not, the stupid thing is that it's dystopian, but the world that we live in is so close, is so getting close to a dystopia, or it pretty much is. Some of the stuff that's happening in this world is quite literally like, it's out of a show, and you can see the similarities.
It's not even that blown up proportion. Yeah, I 100% agree. In 50 years, it's probably going to be Night City in New York.
I mean, I'll take the Mantis blades, I guess, you know.
I don't even know. Jax, quick question. When you start Cyberpunk, there's 3 options to start the game, right? There's like the street opening. There's the outside Night City opening. What is the Rovers or whatever? And then there's
the
Nomad, yeah. And then there's the corporate intro. Yeah. Have you done all of them, or can you speak to it a little bit? Because
No, I've only played it once.
Okay.
I'm a nomad. I started on the outside, and I don't think I was ever going to be a corpo. But I'd be curious to see that. I just don't know when I'd play it. But I do kind of want to start a new game though.
Yeah.
I definitely kind of I do want to. I've only just finished it the first time, to be fair, but yeah. Maybe I'll get it on PC, make it run better.
How long did it take you to beat the game, by the way?
Okay, this isn't really right. So when I bought the game came out in 2020, right? And I played it for like a couple of months when it first came out, and then I didn't play it, I think, for like a year, or like at least 6 to 8 months, because I was like, I ain't playing this dog crap piece of game, man.
Of course, yeah.
So I went back to it, and then I played it for like a good, like solid, like 3-4 months, and I got to pretty close to the end. I think I got to like the final mission, or I did like a mission, like a nomad, like a big nomad mission, and it led up to the final mission, and then I didn't play it again until like 2 weeks ago, and that's when I beat the final story mission and finished the game. I got down into a cycle of doing all of the side gigs, like the side quests.
Yeah. I'm the same way. When I play games like that's open world, and they give me the option of going left instead of right, even though I know I'm supposed to go right, I'm gonna always go left. So that's probably one of the reasons why I haven't gone back into it either, is because it's just so daunting. Like, I like taking my time with all the side quest stuff. So when
I think,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, I think that's a big point about games, like just in general now, because there's so many, and there's so many big games. When you choose to play a game that's as big as Cyberpunk or Assassin's Creed Valhalla, or a game that's not linear focused, it's an open world, it's an RPG. You are committing yourself. If you want to play it properly, you're committing yourself to hours upon hours of that game, and not others. I just wanted to make that point.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like, I'm scared. I'm really scared about like getting back into it, because I know I have to spend all of my time, and I feel like I won't even make that much progress, because I'll probably do I'll play for 2 hours, beat like one side mission, and then be like, okay, did I accomplish anything? Nope, I didn't. Jax, let's move on to my next question. If you were in Night City, you are an Edgerunner, you're in the gang, you're living life, you're hitting those eddies. What chrome modifications do you have?
I can't actually, there's so many different things. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So, I know, I've got, mantis blades, and I can, double jump. I don't have the Sand Devistan, and I don't know where to find it. So I don't have the Sandy like
no
David
Sandy,
does.
No.
Yeah, I don't freaking know. There's so many. I can't honestly think of too much at all. The Sand Devistan actually obviously sounds really good, because you're almost stopping time because you're so fast.
Yep.
That is a really, really cool implant. But there's I don't know. Please, you've clearly thought about this, so please tell me. I'm so curious, because that came out of left field. I have no idea.
No, I haven't given it a ton of thought. What do you mean left field? I can't believe you haven't thought about it before.
I don't know. I kind of can't be bothered to go to Ripper docks in the game, if I'm being honest either. I just kind of crack on and do missions. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably to my detriment, to be fair.
Right. So hold on. Is that Sand Devistan in the game? It is, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Is it as OP as in Edgerunners?
It doesn't look like it, but it's I think it's pretty decent.
Okay.
Because obviously you just are obviously much faster, and you can obviously run up to people and just knock them out straight away and stuff.
Yeah. I would definitely have the Sand Devistan. That would probably be my primary, and then I'd probably just have augmentation in regards to making sure that I don't freaking injure myself from the Sand Devistan. I would definitely have feet, souls. Because I would imagine
You'd
like
have feet. I love that your answer. You didn't really thought about it. I would have feet.
I would have metal
Okay.
feet. No, because like fall damage, bro, it's real.
Oh,
And
right,
Devastan, what if I have to move somewhere real quick? I gotta fall 60 feet. I'm gonna break my little legs.
I could easily see it being like a tattoo addiction.
Oh yeah.
So you get like metal feet. And you're like, oh, this is really good. And you're like, okay, well, I'll get like a metal arm because that's much better if I want to like fight someone or something. And you're like, oh well, I might as well get two. Then I'm like double the power. And then I might as well get like muscle upgrades and like skip like trying to work out myself. What's the point of doing that?
That is a great point.
I can see what happened to Maine. I can see
it's downhill from there. Jax, do you not? I thought you didn't have tattoos. Do you have a tattoo?
No, but I'd love to get one.
Okay.
And then I'd probably get loads.
Yeah.
And then I'd get a San Devastan.
And then eventually, I'd just rip out my spine, make me go.
Yeah,
zoom.
exactly.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. I'm not super ink heavy. I have 4 tattoos, but my wife has
jealous.
Twice as many. And yes, it is a slippery slope. Eventually, you're just like, I sort of like this thing. It's cool, and people are like, "What's it mean?" It's like, I don't know. It's I like Zelda, so here's my Hyrule tattoo. Like I just.
I need to get a Zelda tattoo.
Yeah, bro, I'm surprised you don't have a Zelda tattoo at this point.
I've talked about getting a sleeve for so long,
bro.
Like so long.
Okay, you gotta get so there's several sleeves. You can either have one full design or you can do what I'm doing, which is the patchwork, where you just like continually add stuff, and then like they can also fill in the gaps in between stuff, like just with some kind of design.
I think it's got to be like a continuous thing for me.
Yeah, that's.
But again,
fair.
it's like the design. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Are we though? The people want to know.
All right.
Okay, Jax, I have another question. If you don't have one.
No, you crack. I'm enjoying these. To be fair, I'm curious to know what the next what the next question is about. What if I was living in Night City?
This podcast might be a little longer, but this is a very important question, and you would know a little bit more than me. Keanu Reeves. Okay, we love Keanu Reeves. Who doesn't love Keanu Reeves?
He was amazing. I thought he was brilliant in the game. All the other voice acting was great.
Do you think... Oh, and actually, before I even go and ask this question, did you know that Keanu Reeves' character was in the original board game for Cyberpunk? He's in a...
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. Just in case someone didn't know, because, like, I don't know, I had no idea. I would assume, like, oh, they just wrote a new character for him to be, like, a cool guy. No, he's, like, one of the original characters from the Cyberpunk board game, which is insane. Apparently, like, there's, like, a rise of, like, this rock band from Cyberpunk. I didn't write the term down, but it's, like, they basically made a revolution of, like, cyberpunk rock, and he was, like, the lead singer in it, essentially, which is super cool. But anyway, my question, does Keanu Reeves, aka Johnny Silverhand, detract or enhance the story of Cyberpunk in comparing it to Edgerunners? Who do you think is a stronger character, David or Johnny Silverhand? Because for me, when I was playing Cyberpunk, I love seeing Keanu in the game, but it also, like, didn't seem real. Like, it sort of brought me out of it. I was like, why is Keanu Reeves here? Like,
because he's like a celebrity that you're aware of.
Yes.
It takes away from the immersion of being in that world.
He's a AAA celebrity. Everyone knows who Keanu Reeves is. Essentially what you just said. It brought me out of the world.
It's a good point. So if they designed him to not look like him, and it was his voice, you would have preferred that.
Definitely.
Definitely. Okay. No, I totally understand where that's coming from. For me personally, I don't know. That didn't really take away from me, but I can totally see it, because I think that's happened to me with other things in the past, where there would be like I say, like a celebrity or something that's in there, and it's like, obviously he's a massive part of the game. Like, you see him in every pretty much story mission and stuff. So he's
there all the time.
Huge part of the game. So He's literally in your head like all the time.
And I get it. They wanted to sell the game. It's a cool idea. I'm not like bashing them for that. Don't get me wrong. But in regards to like caring about the character, Edgerunners, I think, just did it so much better. So much better. Like, you have such strong feelings from David from episode 1. And, like, in Cyberpunk itself, I don't know, did you feel super attached to V the whole time you were playing him?
Honestly, I freaking loved V.
Really? Okay.
Like, I only played the male character, so I didn't know what the voice was like for the female. I'm sure it's just as good, because the voice acting for everyone, like, as far as I'm concerned, was literally AAA style. Like, so good. Like, it was Preem, it was Nova, sure. But, no, I love V's, I don't know who did V's voice acting. I'm sure they were, like, because they were so good. Like, the voice itself, I just loved his voice. The biggest part of Cyberpunk, and I'm going to talk about this because I want to rant a little.
Please.
Is the fact that the entire game is in first person and there's no, like, separate cutscenes in the game at all until, like, right at the very end. Like, I won't say anything. So like, the whole game is in first person. So the whole idea of that is so that they are trying to make sure that they project you as V onto the character of V. Like, this is meant to be you, and not someone else. Okay. So they've done that through all of the cutscenes and all of the gameplay. And for me, it did actually work. Like, I found it kind of refreshing, actually. And this is coming from someone that is such a big fan of third person over first person.
Oh, really?
I am such a big advocate for third person games. And that's why I've been saying for so long, and like, I don't want to have to buy it on PC and find some mod on Nexus Mods for this. They have to bring out a third person mode in this game.
Why? I thought there was one.
What?
I thought there was one in the settings. Can't you change it to third person?
No.
Are you sure? Because I swear I did it.
No,
I know for a fact when you're driving the motorcycle, you're in third person, right?
To play Cyberpunk in third person, you need to download and install the third person mod on Nexus Mods. Yeah, thought so.
Okay. I was incorrect.
See, the only time it goes into third person is you can change the camera settings when you're driving.
Yeah.
So you're driving a car or a bike or whatever. Now, like, for a game that is so visually beautiful and its focus is on aesthetic, and you enhance your guy to look so cool and you get all these different outfits and stuff, you never see it.
That's true.
You never see your outfit.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm sitting there going, why haven't they done a third person mode already? I would love this game in third person. It annoys me that there is no game that seems to have taken inspiration from Fallout 4. So Fallout 4 is predominantly a first-person game. You know, it uses the VATS system and stuff, and all that focuses on first-person and shooting and stuff like that. But you press... I had it on PS4. You press, like, the middle button. It takes you out into third person.
Oh.
And the gun reticle becomes just a dot. So it's more difficult, more challenging to shoot in third person. You get to see your character. And I just think, why not just add that one layer? Like, press that button and you go into third person, like, almost immediately. I just find it strange that, I don't know, I have to go into photo mode and assume that my character looks really good doing it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I shouldn't have to go in the photo mode to see my character when this game is all about the aesthetic.
I may be reading too much into this, and it may just be because we just watched Edgerunners. But do you think the reason why you can't go into third person in Cyberpunk is because they want you to be more in tune with the city itself? Like, essentially, they just want
maybe.
They want you to know how terrible the Night City is, and they want you to experience it firsthand. Whereas if you zoomed out in third person, you would essentially detract from being able to care about the story of Night City itself, right?
I don't think you would lose. It may detract from immersion in one sense.
Thank you.
But
yeah.
I don't think it detracts from, like, understanding like seeing the world for what it is, because you get to see more of it. But obviously, yeah, their main focus, obviously, because they had no cutscenes where your character was shown. It was all about you looking at the other person. That's what it was all about. And whilst I find that was cool and it was different for me personally, I love third person games, I just wish they would give you the option of having a third person mode. Just fair. Do it, man. They've got to do it. Come on, like it can't be. It's not hard. No, mods can do it. Why can't CD Projekt Red? All they're doing is updating it. I was also just going to say real quick. Yeah. Do you know they're bringing out DLC as well? They timed that perfectly.
Really?
Yeah. So they're bringing out like a large expansion to go with. Obviously, they planned it with Edgerunners, but it's a smart play. I got to say, like bringing the game back seriously hard.
Is it
smart?
Do you know what they're doing yet? Like, is there
there's going to be a new section of Night City.
Okay.
A new I don't borough. Know too much. Yeah, like is that what it is? A new borough? Yeah. That's what we say in the UK. We say borough.
Well, borough is such a great word.
a new borough.
New borough. Okay, excellent. Jax, I have one last question for you before we end the pod. And you might not have an answer, but as I said in the beginning, we are essentially hitting the point in time where we're going to get more video game adaptations, successful video game adaptations. With the success of this and previous series like Arcane and other stuff, what video game adaptation would you like to see in the future in regards to a successful anime and or movie?
Oh my god, I literally thought about this. I thought about this.
You did? Amazing.
I was like, what other game? I was like, that would really benefit from an anime. And I was sitting there and I was like, it has to be. And this chimes in well with what I was talking about before, and it's Resident Evil. The Netflix TV shows and the film and the obviously the films, they've all been awful, right?
Right.
Do an anime of Resident Evil. Obviously it has to be good, and that's part of the problem when they're trying to do adaptations of Resident Evil. But like if they did it the Arcane treatment, they did the Edgerunners treatment, they could do it with Resident Evil as well. Like do like a story that's compact, that's about a specific character or it's about a specific point in that time in that universe, and just focus on that and nothing else. Don't try and crowbar every important character into it. Just focus on one particular thing and theme and stuff. I think that could be pretty decent. I was also thinking about my two favourite video game franchises of all time, Metal Gear Solid. I think that could. I do want to see a film of that, which is coming eventually. But I think an anime adaptation of that could be pretty cool as well. Actually,
would it follow
so those
Snake,
two,
though? Isn't Snake too OP for an anime?
Well, he's perfect then, isn't he? It would just be like shonen, wouldn't it? It would just,
Yeah. I just think it's so cool that like we're getting this point, because I don't know about you, but like I don't know anything about Castlevania, but you can essentially like make a good series out of anything now. Like Castlevania has its own fandom and stuff like that, but they made an anime out of it and people loved it. I personally haven't seen it, but I heard it's extremely good.
It's a smart way for those companies to get new fans, because it's happening with Nier Automata's getting an anime as well.
I forgot about that!
The fandom is losing its crap over it.
Of course they are.
Like, of course they are. I still need to. I've got it. I still haven't played it. I played like 5 minutes of it.
I'm a terrible person. I have like, I don't know, like 30 hours into it, and I just I stopped playing.
Oh damn!
I'm so bad. I think I was close to, but like someone told, we won't go into Nier. There's too much to go into there.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we'll talk about that. That might be its own episode.
I've still got a couple of things to say about 2077.
Please, no, I'm sorry. I've done the majority of the questions.
No, that's all right. You've gone through your stuff. I just wanted to talk a bit about like the gameplay.
Yes,
because whilst I've been playing it the last few weeks, and obviously comparing it to what it was sort of back then, bugs and stuff, I'm still getting a few of them. There's like a couple of issues when it comes to like conversations with people. Like for some reason V will stutter, but that other person won't. Like their time delay would be the same. So it kind of ends up like a Sonic Adventure 2 where they're overlapping their responses to each other, but it's actually not done on purpose, you know? So it sounds like, so that's obviously like really jarring.
Yeah.
The render time, that's still an issue. Again, I'm playing it on PS4, you know, I don't have a PS5. You can never get one, basically, and I don't have the money anyway.
Exist. Yeah.
But I just want to talk a bit about just the gameplay and stuff. I want to talk, I love the gunfighting and the fighting in general, like the jumping around, like, all that sort of stuff is great. I may be alone in this because I don't hear anyone talk about it. The driving in Cyberpunk has got to be some of the worst I've ever seen.
Really?
And I'm not talking about it visually or aesthetically, like it looks great.
Like how it feels?
But every time I try and turn, I feel like I'm moving a tank. Or like, I'll just try and do like a normal turn, and the car will literally go like, it will literally 360 almost. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get, like, what button am I pressing that's doing it wrong?
Yeah.
I can't be alone in this. Come on.
I from the last time I played, I vaguely remember what you're talking about. It did seem clunky, and like, I didn't like the driving. Frankly, I fast traveled as much as I could when I was playing.
That's what I did. Like, I only started driving recently because I kept playing Heat Radio because it has the songs from Edgerunners. Yeah, it's that song from Edgerunners. It does. So yeah. So like,
what
I
the hell?
driving around,
I don't want to start bawling in the middle of my Cyberpunk mission.
It's just a shame because I don't know how you can, like, it's the sharp. It's only the turns. Like, everything else is fine, but it's like, not even like a sharp, quick turn. It's even like a slow turn. And it just, like, I always end up hitting a sidewalk or something. It's like, and it shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know, again, I don't know if that's just me. The only other thing I was going to say is, the game is great for you stealth fans out there.
Oh,
because
here we go.
obviously a big aspect of the game is, like the net running side of it. So you can, like, ping a particular electronic thing and it shows you where all the enemies are on the little mini-map. You can short circuit guys, you can blind them, you can immobilize them with all your different hacks and stuff, which, that sort of stuff is great, especially for stealth play. I was doing a mission, like, yesterday. I was rescuing this guy out of this sort of apartment place, and there was Militech surrounding it.
Militech?
And you sort of sneak in, and like, oh, that guy's, he's facing this way, so he'll see me if I turn the corner. So I just sort of peeked round, blinded him, and then sort of grabbed him from behind, mobilized him down. And I did that with a lot of people, and it's so much fun. And again, stealth play is so amazing, and it's just not talked about enough anymore. And again, this is another perfect example of stealth mechanics that are incorporated into a big game, as we had that big stealth podcast a few weeks back.
100%. We all love our stealth here.
Oh yeah, I know I do.
Yeah. Jax, I think it is the time. We've rambled on. Let us do a vibe check on Edgerunners and Cyberpunk in general. Since I am talking, I will go first. Edgerunners makes me cry, and for that, I believe it passes the vibe. Nowadays, as an old man, I generally just look for emotion in media, whether it be anime or video games. When I hit that sweet spot of something that can make me cry, I automatically fall in love with it. I didn't say it in the beginning, but essentially on Friday I stayed up late, having a couple adult beverages, playing video games like normal. I was listening to Spotify, playing some Fall Guys. Eventually I got to at the end of the night at 2 a.m. my wife woke up and I just woke her up because I was watching an AMV of Edgerunners and yelling out loud, "Dear God, why? It's not fair." For that, I would like to say that Edgerunners passes a vibe for me, and I will be getting back into Cyberpunk very soon after I finish my Fable 1 run. Jax, your thoughts?
Okay, well, you opened up, so I guess I finished. I finished when I finished Edgerunners the first time. It was like the early morning. I was up with my son, and I was like, "Oh, okay, now I'll finish it." I remember like my wife came downstairs. She's like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I just finished watching this anime.
Yeah,
it was so good."
I'm fine.
I was like, "Oh god." And I was like, because I was like watching it, and I was looking at my baby boy, and I was like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah, I was gone. I was gone." Of course it does. It's Nova, man. The show is freaking. It's brilliant. Like the show's great, and I think the thing about the game, right? Because obviously everyone crapped on it when it first came out and stuff.
They did?
The game.
The game. The game.
Yeah, the game. It's like the story, the idea, the world was always sort of amazing. It was always brilliant.
Yeah.
It's just its execution and the optimization when it first came out was probably as bad as it could be, and that's obviously what made people associate with it being bad. But those elements had always been great, and like a lot of people stuck with it because that world was so unique and so interesting and so cool, so Nova to experience. It was so good. So what I think it's really good that the anime, being as amazing as it is, has not only brought people who originally had it back to the game, but also a brand new set of people who maybe only watched anime or just didn't play Cyberpunk, weren't interested in it. They've all now gone and bought the game and are trying it out and stuff. So I think it's really good to see that. And for me, it's probably the biggest sort of resurgence and renaissance of a game that I've ever seen. Like I'm trying to think of, I feel like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's
sort of
Sky
had a similar thing, but not to the same level that the Cyberpunk had, especially because of Cyberpunk's hype and then how much it was sort of panned and stuff. I think it's really good that games can have that kind of redemption arc.
Yeah, and it's possible. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it absolutely passes the vibe check. But anyway, enough about that.
When will let's talk about not pass the vibe check? That's what we're going to find out one day. But you'll have to
probably
keep listening to find out.
We're going to have to just drop that section entirely. But anyway, everyone wants to talk about vibe versus anyway.
Yeah,
so
that's why you're really here. Yeah.
I'll let you break down what happened this week.
Oh boy, I love talking about what happened on Vibe Versus. Hey guys, guess what we did this week? We played a little game. You may know it because a famous gentleman with blue hair played a sit all the time. We played the kids Fortnite today. Fortnite before we started talking. What we did was we did duos in a squad, and we dropped to opposite sides of the map, and we said, hey, if one of us dies, they lose the versus, and we'll meet in the middle, and we'll go from there, and whoever dies first loses, essentially. And then I was stupid, very, very stupid, and I said that if anyone wins the game out of the two of us, then they would get 2 points.
I forgot about that entirely. Oh man, you should not have said that. I completely forgot.
So we dropped on opposite sides of the map. I took east side. I was near some mountains. It was pretty. Dropped in, got a gun, was looking pretty fly. And a guy came over and he didn't see me. It was probably like a 5-year-old because he ran away and I killed him. I swatted him down in 2 seconds. Jax was over there and he's like, hey, I just wiped out a squad. We're feeling pretty confident, looking pretty good. We're both level 1.
As a duo, there's only 2.
Yeah,
but yeah,
still
standard, getting match made with level 1s.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we're feeling pretty good about ourselves, killing some noobs. I go to a town, I see a guy in the distance, and I'm like, all right, another scrub that we're about to wipe out. Start shooting at him. He's not a very good shot. All of a sudden, my health goes down, and his partner pincer movemented me and dropped me down in 2 seconds. The good news is that Jax also died, though, so he didn't get that 2 points, just 1.
I didn't get the 2 points, annoyingly, but I died shortly afterwards, so I still get the win, which takes the total score at the minute to 6-2. 6-2. Dang, bruh. And I said, you got to pick last time, and you picked multi-vibe versus.
I thought I was gonna win with multiverses. I really did. And technically, I got 4 kills, so I don't know.
So I picked Fortnite. So do you have an idea for the next game? Are you bringing out the big guns?
I'm gonna have to brainstorm. And guys, please leave a comment below if you're watching this via YouTube. If you have a game for us to play, and one specifically that I can win. If you want to go to Jax's channel, PatriotJax on YouTube, and analyze his gaming skills to see which game I could beat him at,
just choose Hollow Knight already. It's like you're saving it.
I am saving it.
I don't know what for, because at this point, dude, you're like 4 behind now. Come on.
Can you beat False Knight in 4 minutes? No. So I know it's. I
don't know what False Knight is.
The first boss
is
in Hollow Knight.
Fortnite.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I did love you so much, and thank you for listening to us. And if you would like to listen to us more, please continue doing so. Rate the podcast on Spotify. I don't see enough 5 stars on Spotify, so if there's any Spotify listeners out there, hit that little button. Jax,
do tell us if you're watching the video version on Spotify as well.
Oh yeah, we have that.
So it's not just on YouTube; it's on Spotify as well. But let us know where you're listening from if you can, or drop us an email. Just say hey. Yeah,
we have an email. Did you know that? Because I did. Totally. We do.
Thank you guys thank you all for listening. We always really appreciate it. Let us know what sort of things you want us to talk about next week in a fortnight. We're going to talk about something in a fortnight. We're going to talk about Fortnite, probably. I don't know.
Oh my god, I'd die if we did a Fortnite episode.
No.
In a bad way.
Oh, it's October. We got to talk about something spooky. Got to talk about scary things. It's October.
We already did the backrooms. That's the scariest thing of all.
That is the scariest thing of all.
Thank you. This is Grog Games. I don't have an outro.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, we promise we'll come up with an outro soon for you. But for now, we'll see you next time.